Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It's Nerdy Girl again. Today is Monday, October 2nd, 2017. I am just absolutely shocked about the incident in Las Vegas. I don't know, my heart skipped a beat when I heard about it. 50 people killed, 400 people injured. What's going on with our society? What's going on with this crap? What's going on? You know, people call me, I'm a Democrat, but you know what? I think that this gunman, which is dead, of course. Thank God he's dead, because he's an asshole. You know why we have this problem? Because we're letting everybody in. Our borders are open. Our borders are open. You know, Uncle Donnie, he's not very he's not a very popular president, but you know what? Let's look at some of the good things the guy is doing. He's trying to make it so that people who make it here legally get citizenship. Our country was based on sound principles of people coming to this country legally and getting their citizenship legally. Our borders are open. Anybody can walk in here. Anybody could get a gun, and anybody could just shoot up a bunch of people. And then they'll spend a short amount of time behind bars and then going to be released. Let's give our president a chance. I mean, he's doing something right. I know what happened in Charlottesville was terrible. I mean, I understand that when he said that there's good people on both sides. I mean, I know the guy's a little bit nuts. He's a real estate man. I mean, I understand the man's a little bit off the rocker. Yeah, Uncle Donnie is a Republican and all that. I knew there's some problems with all of that, but give the guy a little bit of credit. He's doing something right. I mean, I'm not in favor of racism. I'm not in favor of white supremacists. I'm not in favor of the KKK. I'm not in favor of any of those people. But for the love of God, come on. For the love of God. I mean, we're supposed to let, like for example, I'll give an example. Let's take, for example, the DACA crisis. We have 15 states that will basically just let anybody get citizenship even if they're illegals. It's not right. Our country, our infrastructure was built on the principle that people come here and make it by their hard work. People should be rewarded for working hard, not penalized. That's what's a bad thing. People are penalized. People are penalized who are trying to work hard and make an honest living. And another thing, this whole thing about gun control and all that, these left-wing liberal gun control people, they're not solving the gun problem. They are not solving the gun problem. And they never did solve the gun problem, and they never will. Cities like Chicago and New York, where there's all this gun control, people have the highest murder rates. Why? At least, okay, they fixed it a little bit. Now we have conceal and carry. But still, guns don't kill people. People kill people. The reason why we have these incidents like Columbine High, we have these mass shootings, is because we do not have stiff sentences for people who commit crimes with handguns. Guns are not the problem. It's the people that are behind the trigger. The guns are not the problem. We keep blaming the guns. Take the guns off the street. Why should we take guns away from the citizens? For what? Why should we take away people their guns? The Second Amendment right is our right to bear arms. Every American citizen should be allowed to have a gun. They should have a license for it. The crooks, they got guns. And it's impossible to take away the guns from them. Studies have shown that the way to reduce gun crime is stiff penalties for crimes committed using handguns and automatic and semi-automatic weapons. Punish people who use the handguns. Punish the people, put them in jail, lock them up, don't give them parole, lock them up for life. Lock them up for life and throw away the key. That's the answer. I'm going to make some enemies here. So what? I don't give a fuck. I make enemies. I don't give a shit. I'm right and I know I'm right. I'm a white American woman, but you know what? I'm not your typical brainwashed white left-wing bitch that has blinders on and can't see the forest for the trees. I don't fit into that mold. I'm sorry, I don't fit into that mold. See, that's the problem of our society. We all walk with blinders on. We think, well, you know what, maybe the feminists are for abortion, and the left-wing feminists are for to allow abortion and a woman's right to choose, and yet the Republicans are for lowering the minimum wage. What we really need is a third political party. That's what we need. But we have machine politics. Third party candidates never get into office. That's the problem. We have special interest groups, and we have the politicians that run our government basically are paid off to say what we want them to say. That's basically the thing. Because I don't think there's a cookie cutter solution to our problem, essentially. I don't think there's such a thing. There's no cookie cutter solution. The problem with us Americans is we go with blinders on. That's our basic problem. And that is not going to work. What we basically need is, and I'll reiterate, we need those who commit violent crimes. I would put the death penalty back if it's for me. If I was the queen of the country, if we could have kingdoms back, if this country ever becomes a kingdom again, to my opinion, it already is a kingdom. I don't think we're a democracy. I think that the fact that we elect politicians is a big hype and a big farce. Our political leaders are basically appointed. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's just a matter of time before there's going to be another mass shooting. Because we have killers that are not killed. They should be executed. You take human lives you kill people, you should be executed. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. You kill people. Why do we need to feed you? Why do we need to feed you for 20 years and then release you back on the street? Why? For what? For what? O.J. Simpson is out of jail. Well, good for him. I'm not gonna make a comment about that, because I have my opinions about that, about his release from prison. I'm not gonna say he's guilty. I'm not gonna say he's innocent, because I don't know. I mean, somebody might find out where I'm at and do something to me. But anyway, I'll just leave it at this. I'm just gonna leave it for what it is. This is the country where you can commit violent crimes and get a light sentence. The answer to reducing and eliminating handgun violence is not to take the handguns out of the public's hands. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. The answer is to make a stiff penalty, to make stiff consequences if rifles and guns and automatic and semi-automatic weapons and revolvers and magnums and Smith and Wessons and the host of other weapons that you can get legally at a gun store, or weapons that you can get over the black market, and Lugers and whatever these weapons that are out there. I still believe, and now I might be considered right-wing to some people for thinking this, I think hunters should be allowed to have their guns. I basically am not too keen on innocent animals being killed. But people who want to go in on a shooting range and they want to shoot. They want to shoot their guns. Guys want to shoot their guns for sport. They should be allowed to do it. They should be allowed to do it. We shouldn't nitpick against people who love guns. Some people, my late husband, loved guns for shooting purposes. You know. I think the problem is not the guns. The problem is that we don't punish, we under-punish people who use handguns to kill people. That's the problem. That's the problem in a nutshell. They should do life without parole. Life without parole as a minimum. Or better yet, the death penalty. Bring it back. They kill one of us, kill them. They're pieces of shit. They're biological mistakes. Get rid of them. Blow them away. What the fuck? Kill them. They don't respect our lives. Why should we respect theirs? I'm not trying to be a bad person. I'm not trying to be a bitch or anything like that. I'm not trying to be a little cunt. I mean, somebody on a previous video made a comment that I'm ugly. I know I'm ugly. I'm an ugly old hag. I'm the first to admit it. I'm ugly. I'm not Miss America. But I do have a fiance. There's some guy out there that doesn't consider me ugly. I had a husband, you know. I mean, I wish more people had my point of view on these matters. I wish my views were a little more popular, but unfortunately they're not. It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. Yes, we have, it's sad that we have bad people on both extremes of the political spectrum. We have right-wing nuts that are just absolute assholes, but then we have liberal nuts that are absolute assholes too. What happened to common sense? What happened to people basically saying, hey, look, you commit armed robbery, you rape a woman, you're going to be locked up. Why can't we, for example, put in, for example, solitary confinement? Prison is not a place to learn a trade or to get a college degree or to play basketball. Prison is a place where you're supposed to suffer. It's supposed to be an unpleasant place. Why? Because I'm a bad person? Prison is supposed to be a place, it's cruel and unusual punishment? What the fuck? You caused cruel and unusual punishment to the relatives of the person you killed. You looted a store, you busted into a store and what? And you stole a bunch of jewelry. You caused a tremendous amount of pain, misery, and suffering. What if you kill a young man or you kill a young woman, you tie her up, you kill her, and then her body is found? The pain and the suffering that the parents of the young girl that you killed, what about their pain and their suffering? What about that? What about that? So, we have a society that lacks common sense. Common sense is not really common. It's called, common sense means a clear, logical mind. People thinking clearly. I don't want to get on my soapbox about this. I mean, I could really get on my soapbox about this situation. I'm just gonna conclude by saying that we had another major shooting. And why do we have a major shooting? Because guys that do this kind of shooting are underpunished. We underpunish criminals. We underpunish. You commit a crime, you should know that you need to be afraid to commit a crime, because you need to be afraid of the punishment. You need to be afraid. We need to make people afraid to commit crimes. That's what we need to do. We need to make them afraid to commit them. And fear of consequences of committing crimes is a good deterrent. We don't use a deterrent system. I remember growing up in the 70s, you could shoot someone, kill them, you would be let out of jail after 5 years, 10 years, you would be released out of jail. And that was caused by some liberal judges and lawyers. I personally think that the Illuminati have something to do with this. Basically, that's what I think. I'm just a Jane Doe nothing. I'm a piece of shit. I'm a nobody. I'm just another piece of shit that's told shit by the media, and then I'm told what to think, and then I have to process that information, and then I have to make a decision based on the shit that I get from the TV and from the radio and from the internet. The thing about me is I'm one of these people that decided to think for myself. God gave me a brain, so I'm thinking with it. You know, so another thing we need to do is we need to put people through gun safety school. We have traffic safety school if you have moving violations, you go through traffic safety school. Why don't we have gun safety school? Why don't we do it? I don't know why. This doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm just scratching my head. Anyway, I gotta go to work. With this gas guzzling truck. And gotta keep buying gas and oil. And if you even agree with me 1%, click the like button below. And please, for the love of God, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And for all you ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching.
This was the terrifying scene on the ground. People huddling for cover, keeping their heads down. There was a pause in the shooting. The killer is apparently swapping weapons. Then gunfire erupts again, and more bodies fall. One woman heads to the upper floors of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, from where the gunman is firing. There is panic in a hospitality tent near the stage. Terrified fans crouching down as the sound of machine gunfire echoes around them. Attorney Brian Claypool was at the concert.
It's potluck, whoever lives or dies.
We need your truck. We just need to get people over to the hospital, okay?
A passing SUV was commandeered to take some of the wounded to the hospital. You can see victims with gunshot wounds being carried on fencing used as makeshift stretchers. The deadly rain of bullets continued for 4.5 minutes.
Hey, we need to worry about victims. We need to stop the shooter before we get more victims.
Dramatic police radio broadcasts show how a SWAT team closed in on the gunman on the 32nd floor of the hotel.
I can certainly right down on the 31st floor. I can hear the others coming from one floor ahead. One floor above us. We're coming out on the 32nd floor. Just about to hit office. Breach. There's one down, 32nd floor, Mandalay Bay.
You can see 2 blown-out windows in the corner suite where the gunman made his nest. The windows don't open, so he smashed them with a hammer. And look, that's where the gunman was. You can see the clear view he had of the concert venue with thousands at his mercy. Jim Murray is on the scene.
Cops say they found 19 guns and 2 firing platforms inside the gunman's suite. Cops say he also positioned a surveillance camera to warn him when police arrived. The famed Las Vegas Strip was shut down in the aftermath of the shooting. Much of it has since reopened.
The latest casualty count, 58 dead and more than 500 wounded.
The shooter has been identified as a 64-year-old retired accountant who had a girlfriend and lived about 70 miles from Las Vegas. His own brother is speaking out, saying the family is dumbfounded by what's happened.
We're learning more about the madman behind the Las Vegas massacre. 64-year-old Stephen Paddock of Mesquite, Nevada. Were shot. Horrifying.
completely dumbfounded.
Paddock's stunned brother Eric could only shake his head as he spoke to reporters outside his home near Orlando.
He's a guy who lived in a house in Mesquite and drove down and gambled in Las Vegas. He did stuff. He careers.
Here's Diane McInerney.
Stephen Paddock once owned a home here in Melbourne, Florida. It's located inside a 55-plus retirement community, and he sold it in 2015 for $235,000. Neighbors here say he told them that he was a professional gambler by trade. His brother says he moved to Nevada to leave the Florida humidity, and because he also liked to play video poker.
Police say Paddock checked into his corner hotel suite on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Casino last Thursday, September 28th. Here's Inside Edition producer Stacey Devon.
Police say Paddock exhibited no sign of plotting a massacre during his stay at Mandalay Bay. In fact, when housekeeping came to clean his room, they reportedly found nothing unusual. But after the slaughter, police discovered an arsenal of 19 different weapons.
Nothing happened to him at all. The fact that he had those kind of weapons is just... Where the hell did he get automatic weapons?
This is the unremarkable house in Mesquite, Nevada, where Paddock lived, about 80 miles from Las Vegas. It's located here in the Sun City Mesquite retirement community by Del Webb. Paddock had a hunting license in Alaska and was a licensed pilot who once owned his own plane. He was married and divorced twice. He had no children. And now get this. Paddock's father was on the FBI's most wanted list in the 1960s. He went to prison for bank robbery.
This was the mugshot that the FBI put out when he was added to the 10 most wanted list with his picture like that one there.
In the chaotic moments following the carnage, there was also a nationwide manhunt for Paddock's girlfriend, 62-year-old Mary Lou Danley.
There is another person of interest, however, in this case. Mary Lou Danley, 4'11". You can see a picture of her there.
Police found her overseas. The FBI says she is cooperating with the investigation. She says she knew nothing about Paddock's plot. Danley describes herself as a proud mom and grandma who lives life to the fullest on her Facebook page.
In the panic of the shooting, as the gunfire seemed endless, concertgoers took cover anywhere they could. And in the case of one group of people, that safe place was a trailer that turned out to be a freezer.
Harrowing video of concertgoers huddled in a giant cooler backstage as absolute mayhem unfolds around them. The hero who led them there, Brian Hopkins of the country group Elvis Monroe. Hopkins and his bandmate Ben Carey were out enjoying the show like thousands of other country fans when suddenly they heard loud pops.
Here. And not thinking anything of it. It's maybe firecrackers or something, we weren't sure.
Both men were baffled until more gunfire was heard.
It, like a burst of it. And when that happened, both of us saw a guy go down here, another guy go down about 4 feet from him, and it's in front of us. And when he turned, two girls go down right behind us.
The two guys took off running, but quickly lost each other in the chaos. Brian decided to head backstage and tried to cross a barricade, but found himself trapped. Brian tried to keep everybody calm.
We were like quiet, and I'm like trying to, hey bro, just sit down in front of me.
When the gunfire finally ended, they all left the cooler.
Then we see body, 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 body. The last one, the guy has a bullet hole in his stomach.
After things calmed down, Brian updated his situation to his fans.
The shooter positioned himself on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel with a bird's-eye view of the concert below. The Mandalay Bay is one of the largest hotels in Las Vegas and ordinarily is known for its outside shows and over-the-top amusements. Now, however, it is known for something very disturbing.
The upscale Mandalay Bay is the last hotel on the Strip. You can see its proximity to the site of last night's concert and deadly rampage.
Here's the Mandalay Bay's resort queen room.
In this home video, taken a year ago, a hotel guest shares the view from the 34th floor and the floor-to-ceiling windows. Sunday night's Madman was just 2 floors below with the same view.
This is fancy.
The 3,000 1,000-room Mandalay Bay is one of Vegas's most lavish. It opened in 1999 to great fanfare with John Goodman, Dan Aykroyd, and Jim Belushi performing as the Blues Brothers at the grand opening ceremony. The Mandalay took the place of the Hacienda Hotel, which was imploded in a party-like atmosphere on New Year's Eve, 1996. The Mandalay sits at the south end of the famous strip. Next to it is the pyramid-shaped Luxor. Then comes the castle-like Excalibur. As you head down the strip, you pass those famous fountains of the Bellagio, and then the Venetian. At the far end of the strip is the iconic Stratosphere. The Mandalay is the home of the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show. It has a popular high-end shopping mall and a giant beach pool that actually has artificial waves. Sadly, it will also now be known as the site of the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history.
In the hours after the attack, Aldean issued a message on social media saying he and his team were safe and that his prayers were with the victims. He summed up being on stage during the shooting as beyond horrific.
Jason Aldean joins the list of entertainers who will forever be associated with tragedy at a concert. 5 months ago, 22 people lost their lives during a terrorist attack at an Ariana Grande concert in England. And in 2015, 90 were killed when terrorists opened fire at a concert at the Bataclan Theater in Paris. Jason Aldean posted this message on Instagram. Pray for Las Vegas. Tonight has been beyond horrific. Jason is one of country music's top-selling singers.
Jason Aldean.
Jason Aldean.
He was named Entertainer of the Year 2 years in a row at the Academy of Country Music Awards. In 2014, Jason announced his engagement to former American Idol contestant Brittany Kerr. Artist of the Year with Jason Aldean and beautiful Brittany, we celebrate your engagement. Congratulations. Brittany is expecting the couple's first child, a baby boy, due in November. Brittany sent out this heartfelt message on social media. No words for what happened. Taylor Swift echoed that sentiment. There are no words to express the helplessness and sorrow my broken heart feels. She's just one of many stars posting Pray for Vegas tributes. This from Carrie Underwood. We are praying for the victims and their families. May the Lord bring some comfort to them. Ariana Grande tweeted, my heart is breaking for Las Vegas. Call this what it is, terrorism.
We will have more on the deadliest shooting in U.S. history when we come back.
Next, on the Las Vegas Strip, at least 58 people killed, 515 others are injured, and we are awaiting right now a news conference. We're expecting an update on the investigation there in Las Vegas. The Clark County Sheriff is expected to update their investigation. The mayor of Las Vegas is going to be there, as well as the Clark County coroner. All of them supposed to speak, along with the ATF, the federal agents too. So we'll bring all that to you as soon as that begins.
Well, for now, we have a series of live reports in Las Vegas and here in the Chicago area. First, investigative reporter Chuck Galley is joining us live from Las Vegas with the latest details. Chuck.
Cheryl, that astounding number Alan just talked about of several hundred people who were either wounded or injured. Not all of those people were hit by gunfire, although clearly there were several hundred who were. There were also many people who were hurt in a mad dash from here. Trampled, they fell into traffic, they may have gotten hit by cars, or they may simply have fallen in a crush to run for their lives. The local sheriff here is saying that this man who did this was a psychopath. Certainly nothing reported or found today would do anything to dispute that. He does not have or did not have a criminal record, but he did have at least 19 guns. According to the authorities, that's how many they found in 2 hotel rooms at Mandalay Bay, where he opened fire on a country concert about 10 o'clock last night. It went on for an hour and 15 minutes or so, and by that time the police were able to isolate where he was on the 32nd floor. Here now the latest from the authorities.
Oh, we're going to leave that door open. Where's Carlos?
Eyewitness News conference.
Carlos, you ready?
Sheriff Joseph Lombardo,
All right.
Baltimore County, Nevada, including the Las Vegas area.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Obviously, Sheriff Lombardo, Clark County. This will be our fourth media briefing since the incident took place yesterday evening. I'm going to give you just a short synopsis of our updates, and then we have other individuals here standing behind me that are going to make some comments, reference other issues associated with today's events. So there's two things we're attempting to achieve. One is we have to finish processing the scenes. We have 3 separate scenes we are working out. Actually, it will be 4 at this point. So we have the 32nd floor of the room at the Mandalay Bay. We have the event location, the house in Mesquite, and then now we have SWAT standing by getting ready to hit the house in northern Nevada. At this point, we did, in the last briefing, I was unable to tell you what we retrieved from the house in Mesquite. We retrieved in excess of 18 additional firearms, some explosives, and several thousand rounds of ammo, along with some electronic devices that we are evaluating at this point. I mentioned that SWAT is about to breach the house up in northern Nevada, and then I'm going to give you an update on the casualty numbers. We are currently standing at 527 for individuals injured.
The teeth with guns.
The I-Team's Chuck Gowdy live in Vegas.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 10 starts right now.
Breaking developments in Las Vegas tonight, where 59 people are confirmed dead in that mass shooting, 527 wounded after bullets rained down on spectators during a country music concert there. The motive still a mystery tonight as investigators look for answers in gunman Stephen Paddock's home. This tragedy, historic.
It is the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history, and we have live team coverage tonight on the victims, the gunmen, travelers returning home from Las Vegas with chilling stories of survival. Investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy leading our coverage live in Las Vegas. Chuck?
Alan, part of Mandalay Bay Resort still a crime scene tonight, and there is new video of what happened here nearly 24 hours ago. The panic and chaos of the moment when concert goers realized the sound wasn't fireworks. Tonight, the jarring reality that there are no answers yet. Why 64-year-old Stephen Paddock planned and carried out an attack on thousands of happy and peaceful country music fans. From this sniper's nest on the 32nd floor of Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Today, Chicagoans who were in the middle of the mayhem finding it difficult to make sense of what happened.
You don't believe it at first. You're like, how can this happen, right here in Las Vegas and wide open, all these people around, and so you don't know what to think, And then when you actually see people rushing at you when you're going the other direction.
Authorities tonight say they found 23 guns in his hotel suite and another 19 in his house outside Las Vegas, along with bomb components in his car and questions about an attack that has brought Las Vegas and America to a standstill.
I want to emphasize we believe Paddock is solely responsible for this heinous act. We are aware of the rumors outside of the media and also on social media that there was more than one assailant. We have no information or evidence to support that theory or that rumor. We believe there was only one shooter, and that was Stephen Paddock.
A few lights on the stage where last night there was celebration. Perhaps by this time tomorrow night, there will be some answers as to what actually happened here and why. Reporting live in Las Vegas, Chuck Gowdy, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Chuck, Vegas typically a very busy convention tourist city. It must have felt much different there today.
It did. It was quieter, Kathy. The Ferris wheel was not going, and at the airport when we arrived here, you couldn't even hear the sounds of the slot machines because nobody was playing them. It had a far different feel.
All right, Chuck. Thank you. Those killed come from many walks of life, and for that matter, all across the country. And tonight, 2 of the victims are being mourned by a member of our ABC 7 family. Eyewitness News anchor Cheryl Burton's here now with more on those killed. Cheryl?
Alan, investigators in Las Vegas are identifying the victims and notifying their families as officials say that process
could take a while. And tonight, the lights of the famed Vegas Strip went dark to honor the victims. Also tonight, a vigil at Las Vegas City Hall to pay tribute to all those who died. There was Dana Gardner, the mother of 3, who was there with her daughter, who was injured. Former high school cheerleader Angie Gomez, 28-year-old Chris Roybal, who was an Afghanistan Navy veteran and the former brother-in-law of Windy City Live co-host Ryan Cheverini.
He never called me my name. He always called me brother.
Sadly, this tragedy touched Ryan twice. His friend Hannah Allers, a mother of 3, was killed by a gunshot wound to the head.
Why do we keep seeing this over and over again? I'm hurt right now, but I'm incredibly angry.
Tennessee nurse Sonny Melton died shielding his wife Heather from the gunfire. His actions apparently demonstrating why she called him the most kind-hearted, loving man she ever met. Sandy Casey was a special education teacher in Manhattan Beach, California. Tonight, her students and co-workers are mourning their loss.
There's a lot of pain on the campus today. It's a very difficult day in our district.
Also tonight, Las Vegas police aren't only investigating this crime, 2 of their own officers were hit.
One was critical, but he's stable, and one of my officers was off duty attending the concert and lost his life.
Well, people who don't know the victims tonight are looking for ways to honor those who were killed. And tonight, there was a prayer vigil. It was held at St. James Parish in Arlington Heights. The priest there said it was a way for those who are feeling hopeless and helpless to send up their prayers for the victims as well as the heroes who prevented even more deaths. Alan and Kathy.
Okay, Cheryl, thank you. More tonight, Rob.
Kathy, no criminal history, no run-ins with police. Stephen Paddock, by most descriptions, kept to himself and loved to gamble. And tonight we hear from his brother and other relatives, and we've also learned his estranged father was a man very familiar with crime.
Steve had nothing to do with any political organization.
But Stephen Paddock liked casinos.
He played multi-$100 a hand video poker.
6 years ago, Paddock sued a Vegas casino after he slipped and fell. Video shows him later rubbing his leg. An arbitrator found in favor of the casino. Paddock recently sent hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Philippines. He lived with his girlfriend, Marilou Danley, seen here at a gambling tournament in this Mesquite, Nevada home. Police raided it today, finding even more weapons.
Just in shock and started shaking. I just can't believe someone in here will do that. I just can't believe it.
Paddock's father, seen here in file video, was well known to the FBI. Benjamin Paddock spent years on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitive list. And today, Stephen Paddock's niece, Nicole Paddock, wrote on social media, quote, "Stephen Paddock was my uncle. It has been over a year since I had any contact with him. He never came across as religious or political. I am as shocked and appalled as anyone about this senseless act of violence." Paddock's brother Eric says he recently won a $40,000 jackpot and describes him as a multi-millionaire. Alan, back to you in the studio.
All right, Rob. Shooting survivors arriving here in the Chicago area tonight. They are returning with stories that may haunt them for life. ABC 7's Eric Hong is live at O'Hare with their perspective. Eric?
Alan, all day we've been hearing from people caught up in the chaos. Tonight, one Northside man shares his account of being surrounded by death. Tonight, Mike Anderson is relieved to be home almost 24 hours after escaping the carnage.
You could smell blood from the girls bleeding in front of us, and a girl right in front of me grabbing her neck because she was shot in the neck. So me and my friend grab her, everybody hits the floor.
Anderson of Lakeview was near the stage as the gunfire erupted, bullets missing him over his shoulder, but finding their mark in others.
And there was another girl next to me. She was hit in the arm. We tied her arm up. She could see her bleeding.
During a lull in the gunfire, Anderson made a run for it.
We are seeing bodies. I probably saw, at least 8-10 bodies just laying there.
The gunfire continued for what seemed like an eternity. Also in the crowd, Kevin Wagner of Bucktown.
The videos I've seen on the news don't do justice, just how long and how it was just so many shots. I'm never going to get that sound out of it, I know that much.
Tonight's survivors are still trying to make sense of it all.
I feel like I'm going to get shot because you can hear the bullets. You hope for the best, but you just kind of prepare yourself.
Tonight, Mike Anderson is shaken but defiant. Despite what he's endured, he says he will continue to attend large events. Live at O'Hare, Eric Hong, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Eric, thank you. This tragedy touching the Cubs tonight. MVP Chris Bryant, who's from Las Vegas, tweeting, "Heartbroken to see what's happened in my hometown. Grateful that my family and friends are safe. Thoughts and prayers to all those affected."
President Trump calling the shooting, quote, an act of pure evil. The president pausing on the White House South Lawn for a moment of silence to honor the shooting victims. Earlier, he addressed the nation.
In moments of tragedy and horror, America comes together as one, and it always has. We call upon the bonds that unite us, our faith, our family, and our shared values.
President Trump will travel to Las Vegas on Wednesday to meet with first responders and families of the victims.
And now new at 10, the shooting once again raising the debate over gun control in our country. And members of the group called Peaceful Communities gathering outside a sporting goods store in Northbrook. They want gun sellers and every other part of the weapons industry to be held accountable for gun violence in the United States. One gun store in Nevada that sold the shooter some of his weapons says he passed all the necessary background checks.
And in California tonight.
It's Nerdy Girl again. I'm finishing this video in the dark because my mind, my spirit, my soul is in the dark for what I witnessed happen to my country. Individuals who do stuff like that should be executed, should be given life without parole, but this nutcase killed himself. We as a nation need to reevaluate our whole value system. Once again, I'm signing off. Thanks for watching.